Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cranston, Rhode Island. We're here at Bowlero, Cranston, and this is the very first round of the GROGMONSTER Sports NEBA Doubles presented by Decorative Concrete Finals. It is the round of 24, and this is the first round in which the top 8 teams get a bye, and we'll go through the teams in a little bit. I just wanted to set the stage for you. Our feature pairs here are 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. We have some very interesting matches already right out of the gate. Let's look at 7 and 8. This is going to be a interesting match between Joey Transu partnered with Justin Veal, a couple of power players, along with Chris Forey and Justin Bone. He of the Parker Bone and Brandon Bone and Janine Bone, a very famous family down there. So great to see Justin up here bowling with Chris, and that should be a very interesting match. And already Joey Transu kicking things off with a strike on the left lane. On the right lane, we have Bill Webb, all-time bowler of the year, leader and Hall of Famer, along with Scott Widmer, and he's bowling against Jake Kowalski and Stephanie Casey. So Kowalski and Casey made it off the at-large, shooting 184 over. And we'll see how this match goes out. So again, we're going to be bringing you the round of 24, the round of 16, the round of 8, the round of 4, and the championship match. We'll have 5 rounds of finals competition for you here at Cranston. So looking forward to some great action, and the pattern very interesting. It is one of the customized patterns that Greg Tack and Tommy Hankey created for us at the behest of the pattern committee. Hey, Jeff Barden, great to have you online here. Great to see you. Looking forward to heading up to Keene. That's our next event, July 29th and 30th. July 29th doubles, July 30th singles, and July 28th golf. So, and there'll be a sweeper, I understand, or some event that night, I think, Jeff, somebody was talking about there at Keene for those who are not golfers. So a lot going on up in the Keene area coming up at the end of next month. So we're really looking forward to that and getting up there. So thanks for weighing in, Jeff, and for all you do. Great to see the regional that just happened there over in Manchester, and we'll be hitting Manchester later this year. So great stuff there. Now, interesting, if you just saw that shot by Webb, that was a very, very good descriptor of the pattern, and here's how it goes. So it's the GROGMONSTER Sports doubles pattern. It is a custom pattern just for this tournament. 37 feet, 4.07 to 1, and a 30.3 oil volume. And of course, you talk about this weekend. Yesterday we had the over-under doubles, and Danny Koo no longer a bridesmaid and now a NEBA champion, along with Joe Skiana. Couldn't ask for a better story and a better conclusion to yesterday's event. Congratulations so much to Danny Koo, one of the best guys going. Great smooth swing. I can't believe he hasn't won. Congratulations to Danny. So now interesting, this pattern, 37 feet, so it's short, 4.07 to 1, and all the ratio is between the 4th board and the 9th board. So inside of 9 or 10, it is dead flat across. So if you play inside of that, you're playing essentially U.S. Open cross. So you've got to get the ball outside of the 8 board somewhere to pick up friction and have it turn up towards the pocket. And the trick is there can be more friction because there's absolutely nothing outside of 5. So boards 1 through 4 are absolutely dry, and it's funny, if you stand over it and look at it, you can really see there's no reflection of oil whatsoever on boards 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can have the ball overreact if you get it out there, but if you don't use that friction and you somehow get to it, you're bowling on flat. So very challenging pattern, actually, yielded some very interesting results. Our cut this morning for 9 a.m. was led by Evan Throw and Stephen Major, who shot 326 over, and the cut was 136 over, which was Scott Widmer and Bill Webb. We had a bunch of at-larges hang around. I know Chris Monroy had 132 this morning and sat on it, but what happened was the lanes carved up, and with this 30.3 oil volume held up very well through the second block, and you're seeing more and more patterns with more and more oil volume. So the volume is holding up very well through. There's a beautiful shot by Webb, getting it out to that dry, watching it peel and flush. So great shot there by Bill Webb on lane 9. So you're seeing enough oil in the middle that it's holding up. So what we saw was the track dry out on the right, and then a little bit of hold in the middle still with all that volume. So the cuts went up. David Simard and E.J. O'Melia shot 398 over on the afternoon squad to be high qualifiers, and congratulations to them. And they actually led the field at the 12:30 squad by 122 pins. So great bowling there, guys, and just dominated there. And the cut this afternoon was Justin Urbano and Paul Smith at plus 205. And again, that is doubles. It's 10 games, so we can see some higher cuts there. So congratulations to Justin and Paul. And that left our at-large cut down at around 126 over. And that was Darren Borges and Chris Viali. So congratulations to those guys for finding their way in. And Chris Monroy and Matt Brockett, who we bowled with, were smart to sit on their 132 score because they did make it into the finals. And now they're back tanned and rested and into the finals and bowling right now. So good for them. We've got some other buys here. We've got 8 teams that have buys, and we'll pick them up in the round of 16. The buys are Amelia and Simard. We mentioned Urbano and Smith, Paul Smith and Urban and Urbano. They shot 205, so it's funny. Everybody who made the squad cut on the 12:30 squad gets a bye because those are the top. Let's see. Those are the top 6 scores, combined with the top 2, Evan Throw and Stephen Dale Jr. and Kevin Tebow. So when we think about Danny Koo winning, the next bridesmaid to get that title of monkey off his back is Kevin Tebow, and I could see both of those guys winning a lot of titles before it's over. But it'd be good to see Kevin get in the winner's circle today. That would be a hell of a story if we could see that unfold. So good for them. So again, the buys are Amelia, Simard, Urbano, and Smith. A.J. Villa, my partner yesterday. Thank you, A.J. And Hunter Kempton, Amanda Broge, and Rob Gotterbarn get a bye. Stephen Major and Evan Throw, of course, led the 9 o'clock squad. Tebow and Dale, Aaron Major, and Colby Hagamoser. And, of course, Tony Renaud and Todd Lathrop crossed with Don Fry and myself at the 12:30 squad and bowled extremely well. So good for those guys to snare the last bye and get themselves into – no, actually they were Urbano and Smith was the last bye. And there's 4 through the middle for Bill Webb. It gives you a sense of what happens here. There's a spark spot outside of 5, and if you get it down there and it does hit the dry and spark up, it will hook on you too early, it will hook too much, and that is the danger of this pattern. It's not like it's OB. It's kind of like a reverse OB if you get it out to it. So it looks like we lost lane 7 and 8 here while I was babbling. It looks like something happened on 8, and it looks like they have moved that pair, and I'm trying to see where. It looks like I can see them way up now on 19 and 20. So the great match we were going to see with Justin Bone and Chris Forey and those folks are all up at the high end now. So we'll have to get a report on that and see how that match goes. So we'll just have to stay with our buddies Scott and Bill Webb and Jake and Stephanie down here on 9 and 10, and we'll cover some other matches for you as we can see them. Again, this is the round of 24. Little bonus coverage for you. We normally don't kick in here until the round of 16, so we'll see how we do. Let's look at some of the other matches that are going on right now. Dennis Bissonette, who dominated yesterday's qualifying and ended up second, is combined with Erickson. Let's see who that was. That is, of course, where are they? Don't see them on here. I'll find them in a minute. They're bowling Mark Bouchard and Bill Beck. So they're up on 11 and 12. And 3 and 4 is Alex Cavanaro, who crossed with they made the at-large Robbie Shine. They missed the cut at 12:30 by 1 pin, 2204. So Kavanaugh Shine against Chris Vialli and Darren Borges. That's 3 and 4. We talked about 7 and 8, 9 and 10. 5 and 6 is Giger and Hume. Tyler Hearn made it in comfortably with 21.87, making it into the at-large. And they're bowling Jim Handy and John Matunis. They were one of the 132s. They tied Monroy at 132. So good for them. That's 5 and 6. Let's look at 11 and 12. That is Bissonnette, as we mentioned. 13 and 14, Adam Hall and Andrew Hall and Adam Zimmerman, defending champions of this event, are bowling. John Kirker and Mike Clausen. Funny, Mike Clausen was Andrew's partner yesterday for the over-under. So I guess no love lost in this match. And let me see if I can see how they're doing. It looks like Hall and Zimmerman are in control of this match, with Adam with the front 3 and Andrew with a open and then the next 3. So looking good in that match for Hall and Zimmerman, the defending champions. And what else do we have? Brockett and Monroy are bowling on 15 and 16. They're bowling against Messino and Zach Gentile. So congratulations to those guys for making it. And again, 24 teams make it into the finals here. And that is a quick rundown of your matches for the top 24. And the winners of each of these matches will face we'll move down to 8 teams that will survive this round, and they will each face one of the seeded teams in the round of 16, which is how it usually goes for NEBA. This is your typical one-game match elimination. It is not eliminator like we often do, and Bill fell off that one, but he still smashes the pocket. Looks like he's got something going on with his thumb or something there. So after that disastrous 4-4 frame, we'll see how they make out here. And even after that, they still have the lead over Jake and Stephanie here on 9 and 10. Well, I hope we didn't lose 7 and 8 for the duration, because that's where we're set up to do our feature matches. If that's true, then we may have to adjust, and we'll try to pick up a couple of other pairs just so we can have 2 pairs of coverage here. 11 and 12 will be the final pair, and of course the way it works is we use 11 and 12 for the first 2 matches and not again until the final. So 11 and 12 usually, the final pair usually has a little bit extra oil on it by the time the competitors get there. Another little twist to the final format for NEBA, a little obstacle they have to overcome when they get back to that pair. So we'll see what we can do here. After this round, we'll go find out how serious it is with 7 and 8, and if it can be resurrected. It's dark. There's nobody even working on it that I can see. So we'll have to see how we're doing here. Stephanie Casey, let's look at this shot. This is a good shot there. In fact, why don't we do this, since we have no 7 and 8, we're going to zoom in on the right lane for you. Well, give us a closer look at Stephanie's game, as well as Jake and Bill and Scott here bowling on 9 and 10. I say welcome everybody. We're here again at Cranston Lanes, Bowlero, Cranston, and finals of the GROGMONSTER Sports. Thanks to Greg Flamond for the sponsorship, and also GMS Decorative Concrete kicking in $1,500 for this event. So great to have a couple of great sponsors here online. I did see Greg Flamond earlier, although it wasn't bowling. And so speaking of 4 through the middle, Adam Zimmerman went front 4 and just went 4 through the middle. So here we go. Like I said, the spark on the edge is real. It is very, very dry outside of 5, but if you're playing with fire, but if you don't use it, you have a hard time being competitive and getting the ball to shape and getting it through the pins the right way. And by the way, if you try to play inside of 10 or just play up the track, you're basically in US Open flat. So it's tricky. You got to figure out how to do it. You got to get the roll correct. You got to get the surfaces correct. And of course, then there's lane to lane differences here on this SPL lane surface. So all kinds of fun stuff here in this 4-to-1 challenge pattern. And Adam almost makes the 4. He gets 5 more and almost sneaks out the spare, but unfortunately he does not. And let's see if these guys have a chance to get back in the match. I don't see much going on there, so I think they're still pretty strong. And just watched Andrew Hall blast a Messenger 10, aka a Farkle 10. So that should be fun. So nice shot there by Jake. Nice cover on the 2, 4, 10. Beautiful spare there. Let's check in on this match. Let's see how we're doing here. We've got, let's see, 87, 74. 13 plus 26 is 39 something under. Scott Widmer 75 in the 5th, 25 under, and Webb now even, so 25. So Webb and Widmer are up, but only by the fact that they're only 25 under as opposed to 35 under. So not good scores here on the 9 and 10 pair. But again, the fresh, very tricky. There's a table that runs over from 10 to 10 or 9 to 9, and it drops down in the 8 and 7 boards. And outside of 7, it drops down to basically nothing. So it's very tricky. Now that's going to hook Brooklyn for Scott as he got that one in. And then, like any short pattern, you're not going to have any hold whatsoever in a pattern like this. You actually see Dennis Bissonnette to the right of your screen. And great shot there by Dennis. This ball down, he had that, I don't know what it was. It was an Ocean Vibe yesterday he was using. So, did Amanda and Rob make it? Yes, they did. Amanda and Rob Gotterbarn are seated, and they will be bowling the winner of this match we're watching on 9 and 10. So the Casey Kowalski and Webb Widmer match, the winner of them will face Amanda Broge and Rob Gotterbarn. How you doing, Lori? Good to see you on the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. So there's your answer there. They are actually, all those folks are warming up now. They have pairs open up on 23 and 4 and 25 and 6. Oh, Rob Green, Dennis throwing a hyped. Yes, that's right. He showed me that hyped. Dennis drilling out some storm equipment showed me a phase 2. And hi, Julie. How are you? Let's see. Jameson, I don't think they made it. Jay and Joey, I don't think they made it. I was crossing next to them this morning, and they didn't make it. Did not get seated. I don't think they made the cut. Sorry. If I have a minute, I can zip through the squad sheets and see if I can find them. Hey, Ricky, how's Bone Bowling? I can't tell. They're supposed to be on 7 and 8 right in front of us, but we had a breakdown, and so they moved the 7 and 8 match up to 19 and 20, which is way, way, way beyond my eyesight capability. I can actually see Chris Forey on the approach right now, way up there. So anyway, so there we go. Yeah, sorry, Julie, I didn't quite track them very well, so didn't see it. So, and happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and great to be here on it's a beautiful afternoon too here in Cranston. So we'll get through these matches and go out and have a nice Father's Day dinner. So I appreciate that sentiment, Julie. Vinny Grizan checking in. How you doing, Vinny? Good to see you. And there's Scott Widmer crossing over, and again, very easy to do in this pattern. Again, a flat tabletop pattern from 10 to 10, and it tapers outside of that. And boards 1 through 5 are absolutely stone dry. So very interesting how it banks off the edge. In fact, it can be too much of a good thing sometimes. You see some nasty splits that way. And we go for where? So,
sorry to interrupt you. So with the 7-8 breakdown, because that came into play for the semis,
yeah,
this is what we were thinking of changing everything to. Just want to make sure that works with you.
I can't. I'm still on the air. Let me get through this and we'll talk about it. Okay? Can we do that? Hey everybody. Sorry. We had a breakdown on 7 and 8, and our new tournament director, Justin, came over to talk to me about what we might want to do about the switches on the pairs. And me, the terrible multitasker, had to push him off till the end of this game. I would like to get, as I said, a couple of pairs covered so we can have an actual live stream pair, you know, we can track a couple of matches for you at once, but we know 11 and 12 is going to go out of play after this next round. So what we might do is move the camera over to 9 and 10 and 11 and 12, and then we'll see what's going on after that. So give me a second here. There's a 4-bagger by Webb. Beautiful shot there. And yes, that is a hyped being thrown by Dennis Bissonette, and unfortunately that hyped, he got it out to the dry, didn't quite recover for him, and just left a 3.79, which he could not convert, leaving him 92nd in the 6th. So Dennis tracking to a 170 game, and his partner tracking to a 180 game, and they are substantially down to their competitors, which is Bouchard and Bill Beck. So we'll have to see how they are doing there. So if you give me a minute, I can get the exact number here. It's 20 and 138 to 101. So they're down by about 50 pins, unfortunately. Dennis and Bill. So we'll see if they can make a comeback here. It's his Casey match. Bill Webb, by virtue of his 4-bagger, has given his team a nice cushion here. There's Stephanie Casey, a nice shot. You saw that get left a little bit, and it's just going to read right off that pattern. There's no forgiveness through the front. You've got to get it out to the dry, use the dry, and watch it come back. There's no piping it up the lane. In fact, you can't get out and throw it straight up the edge either, because there's dry right back to the head pin. So you've got to somehow go out to it and cross it. And actually, my friend Don Harrington had a good block this morning on it, bowling 80 over or something like that, and just pitching to it and watching it bank off the edge. So you can see some real interesting pool shots off this kind of a pattern. So as soon as we said that about Dennis, Mark Bouchard leaves a washout and gets only one of them. So there's a substantial setback for Bouchard, to the extent that he basically just tied his man. And again, this is over on 11 and 12. And now we've got 30, 2-teen versus 180. So actually still a 30-pin match with the Beck crew up on these guys. So let's see. And good shot there by Bill Beck, who is with Mark Bouchard. Sorry, I had him with Dennis. It's Tristan Erickson with Dennis, of course. And Erickson trying to double up here. And ring 10 for Erickson. No love there. Let's see if Webb can add to his 4-bagger and get to 5 in a row. Once again, we'll be having 5 rounds of finals coverage for you. And Andrew Hall just threw his 8th in a row. He went open, next 8. And I think he is single-handedly putting away Clausen and John Kirker. So he just held his hands after the last one. Now Webb got that one left, and he knew it was going to hook. I think the other thing this pattern does is there's an amazing lane-to-lane difference. It amplifies the differences lane to lane. Like if a lane's edge doesn't hook, it really makes a huge difference on this pattern, because you have to use those boards out there to get the ball to recover and get it back to the pocket. So here's Webb, no problem on the 6-10. So let's tally this matchup. We have 75 pace for Widner and a 184 pace for Stephanie. So Widmer is down by 9 to his man. Well, unfortunately, on the Jake side, he's looking at $160 to 218. So we're talking about 50 pins there, 50 plus 58. So they're down about 38. So the Webb team in firm control of this match here on 9 and 10. So we'll see how we end up here. And by the way, the Broge Gotterbarn match will bowl the winner of this match, and it looks like it's going to be Webb and Widmer. That will be on 5 and 6, right to our left here. So maybe they will move the camera that way. We'll have to see what happens and see what we do to get our coverage back online here. There's a nice shot there by Stephanie Casey. Meanwhile, Scott Widmer with a 4-9 can't help the cause. Knocks down the lead by 30 versus 50, so I think we're down to about only 20 here. Let's see, big shot here by Jake if he can get himself set up for the 10th. See, that gets it out to the dry, peels back. Beautiful shot there by Jake. There's Webb trying to get himself set up. So 204, 50, 80, 384 possible on the left team here. Stephanie and Jake. 210. And Webb. Beautiful shot there by Webb right up the pike. Uses the dry. Pacing to 218 to 162. That'll be 38. That'll be minus 20. So this match by no means out of wood here. Big shot here by Widmer to try to keep pace. Gets it out to the dry, turns it up. Textbook shot, leaves an 8-pin, no thank you. Good shot there by Scott Widmer, no luck. Scott Widmer, of course, the NEBA webmaster, updating our website regularly, so thank you very much for all you do there, Scott. Now Stephanie got that one way out, comes back and leaves the 210, and I'm pretty sure she'll basically have to make this to have any chance. 64, that even brings her that to 84, and Webb has such a commanding lead over Jake that may not be able to make it up. And hard and straight, Widmer at the 9-pin. Andrew Hall went split, open, next 9, all the way to the first one in the 10th. And I have to say that it's match in hand right there. And Stephanie unable to convert the 210, and that's going to pretty much do it for this match here. So it will be Scott Widmer and Bill Webb against Amanda Broge and Rob Gotterbarn coming up on 5 and 6 in our round of 16. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be back with you for 4 more rounds of coverage here at Bowlero Cranston. It's the GMS Decorative Concrete sponsorship, but it's the GROGMONSTER Sports Doubles event. Thanks so much to Greg Flamond and your sponsorship, and great to see GROGMONSTER Sports off the ground there. And good shot there by Jake. He will get to 180 possible, gets them to 350, won't do it because Webb is already going to have them in the 360s, 370s, even with an open. And he goes flat 10. So Webb already in the 200, so it's game over here on 9 and 10. So as soon as they wrap up this game, we'll sign off, and we'll be right back with a round of 16 once we figure out what pairs it'll be on because of this unfortunate breakdown in 7 and 8. And 7 and 8 is dark. There's nobody even working on it. So I think we're going to have to assume it's out for the day, and we'll have to adjust accordingly. In life, you have to adjust, right? And Webb sneaking off the 10-pin. Learned that Bill Webb has never bowled a PBA event. Very interesting. He's had so much success in the regional level, and just a great player in his own right. And always knew that he wanted to bowl NEBAs and local events and never bowled a PBA, so good for him. And we'll watch Webb's last shot here, and then we will sign off. Just for the record, it will be Bouchard and Bill Beck moving on. He's going to shoot 170 to 230. That'll be 400 something. And unfortunately, Dennis came back and it wasn't enough to recover there. So, okay, we're done with the round of 24, folks. We'll come back with the updated bracket, and we will be back with you for the round of 16 in just a few minutes, and we'll see which pairs we're on. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, guys.